Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get our ignition system wired back up on 65. Probably been at least 6 months since this engine's ran. It's got a small block 318 in it, and I'm just itching to hear it run. So we're going to get the ignition wired back up just to hear it run today. Stick with me. So I'm going to start at the ignition switch itself. The whole thing's going to be rewired at some point. I've started tearing everything apart, labeling stuff, and we're at the point where we're ready to put some new wire in. So we're going to get this ignition wired up. First step, we're going to do away with this glass fuse block and put in this super nice blade fuse block that we got off of some Chinese special website, I'm sure. So I'm gonna mount this one roughly where this one was, hopefully gonna use some of the existing holes. Well, maybe only one of the existing holes, but mount it in here somewhere. Or higher up, because we actually have the high beam switch right there. I don't want to be kicking the fuse block every time I go to flip the high beams. We'll get it mounted in here somewhere. Actually, maybe, well, no, I want it mounted vertical, just to keep any moisture out too. So we go back here somewhere, get that thing mounted up. So to save everyone from the painstaking visual of me wiring this thing for the last few hours, I figured I'd go ahead and wire it up and then just run over what I've actually done. So we're not worrying about the rest of the harness at this point. That's why this is all tore apart. The gauges and, you know, the wipers, the heater, all that stuff, the lights. I'll rewire that at another time. Right now, I just wanted to rewire the ignition correctly because it was wired very incorrectly. And then aside from that, just, you know, multiple splices in an individual line, you know, just high resistance throughout. So they're all straight shots at this point, not cobbled together wires. It's done right. So back in here, see the back side of the ignition switch. I tried to pull the spades out of the factory connector, and that factory connector was just so brittle it was crumbling, so was not able to use that, but I do have them all labeled. I have just individual heat shrinked spades going on the back of the ignition switch. That all comes out in this one big loom that goes down through one of the holes they already had in the firewall that none of them have a grommet on them for whatever reason, so I put a grommet on it. All that's wrapped. I have my accessory power to the accessory fuse block I mounted coming off of that harness right here. That comes down to this fuse block, which will only have power to it in the accessory position. Accessory or run, I should say. So not while cranking, not while the key's off. Key's got to be an accessory or run. So that's it for the inside, basically. Going out, I have my supply to the ignition switch directly off the battery here. So that wire goes all the way in. See, and this is part of the cobble crap that is going to be redone. This is all light wiring, but you can see big red cable. That's battery cable I did in a previous video. But all our harness is all loomed up, so it's all nice. But off of the ignition switch, I have my ignition 1 and ignition 2 positions, which ignition 2, from what I understand, goes directly to the primary circuit of the coil down yonder. ignition 1 goes through the ballast resistor. And you know what? Thinking about that, I may have that backwards in my mind, but regardless, 1 goes through the ballast resistor. So when you're running, the voltage is going through the ballast resistor. 1 is just for cranking and feeding direct battery voltage to the primary side of the coil. So we have that wired in. So you guys are going to watch it live. We're going to see if we can get this pig to fire. Give her a little spray. Looks like we're finally drawing fuel. Tell you, it's a piece of junk Chinese carburetor. No matter what I do, it won't adjust right. I really don't like how I have the choke rigged up, but making do. Cool, little fire. What a treat. She's gonna go. Getting fuel up there now. sure she could use a little tune-up. Or, you know, a full-on rebuild. But hey, she runs. What a treat. What a treat. Well, there you have it. It runs. I'm not sure the route I want to go with this truck for sure. I've been toying with the idea of putting a 12-valve Cummins in it. It likely will end up with that. That's why I don't want to go too crazy with the work I do to this 318. But we'll continue on with the wiring on it. And I haven't had the opportunity yet to actually take it down the road. Still got some brake work I need to do to it in order to do that. And at that point, I'm still going to have to get all the lights wired up so I can take it down the road. But hey, till the next one. I'll catch you guys then.